Every year, when a new phone comes out, I can't help but feel nostalgic to the tech of the past. Sure, the advancements to the cameras, displays, and overall capabilities are amazing, but there's just something about the tech that brought us to where we are today. Maybe it's the reason I'm holding on to my almost 8-year-old BlackBerry, or still listening to music from an old iPod. Join me in covering some of the most nostalgic tech of the last 30 years, from devices and operating systems down to the very apps on them, as well as give an ode to the obsolete tech I still use today and why I've stuck with them so long. I was born in 2002, but despite not actually growing up in the 90s, my parents were so technologically outdated, the computer I grew up using ran Windows 98, complete with dial-up internet. In 2008. So that Windows 98 startup chime is forever baked into my mind. Hearing it is like coming home to my childhood. Oh, I miss Windows startup sounds. Although I'll never miss losing my internet connection every time someone called the home phone. My grandmother kept her dial-up service till it was no longer offered in about 2015. The look and feel of Windows 95 and 98 just has a connection with me. Its color scheme and icons. And what about that cloud wallpaper? I can't forget that one. I used to play a game pack called 505 Games, and there was so many I'd regularly play, the most memorable being a platformer where you had to climb ladders and collect keys to unlock the next levels. We did eventually make the transition to a newer version of Windows. XP, of course. Just $50 for a new, beige box, decommissioned from my primary school.
Microsoft Windows XP! There you have it, guys! It works! It started, and there's your boot! There you have it. Windows XP has started. Oh yeah, what an upgrade! This is amazing. There you have it. Windows is starting up.
This computer eventually became my own, and while I do have fond memories of XP, and all the malware I managed to install, it was very underpowered and couldn't even play Minecraft at more than 1 frame per second. This was around the time YouTube became popular, and it was this computer I created this very YouTube channel on. Speaking of YouTube, does anyone remember the old YouTube ratings, or better yet, the old channel page layouts and channel art? I never had enough subscribers at the time to utilize the channel links feature, which I believe you could incorporate into the artwork with custom buttons and the like, so actually better than what we have today. I think the UI has really gone backwards over the years, but that's just my opinion. I still remember when a large part of the internet was GIFs, everywhere. You couldn't load a web page without something flashing or spinning around.
You've got mail.
Websites, a little bit simpler for sure, although a little dizzying. I think something a lot of people will relate to are early versions of iOS and operating systems like Windows Vista and 7. Their designs so distinctive, realistic, and Windows Aero. These designs have stood the test of time. Despite being long discontinued, they've become timeless, meaning they don't look outdated. After more than 10 years, it's nice to see this sort of design making a return in iOS 26 or Windows 11, even if it's a modern take, though nothing is better than the original.
Hugh running iOS version 6.1.4.
But the OS was just part of the experience. Some of the popular apps of the time made that experience better. A time before microtransactions and pay to win, just simple games, those like Flappy Bird and Temple Run. Even the way old social media apps looked and functioned. Except Google+, we don't want to remember Google+. For many of you, game consoles like the Xbox 360, PlayStation 1 or 2 might bring back memories. But for Xbox users, that might be a memory of a red ring of death. I was never a gamer, I never owned a console, so that's something I can't personally relate to. My parents wouldn't buy me a gaming console. Instead, they gave me an old computer and a camera. But that worked out for me alright in the end. One whole category of device that's come and gone was the MP3 player. The most popular of which being the iPod, released in 2001 and discontinued in 2014 for the classic model, while the touch-based version lasted till 2022. These devices changed the way people listen to music, Apple's original slogan being 1,000 songs in your pocket. They were trendy, the tech item to have at the time, that eventually got replaced by the smartphone and internet streaming. Despite this, there is still a community of people who still use their MP3 players, even upgrading them. I use a 5th generation iPod, which is coming up 20 years old. It's got an upgraded battery and solid-state storage with a custom faceplate. I've taken it overseas and I use it in my car as my only source of music. It's a great little device that gets to see plenty of use. Of course, to pair with the iPod at the time, you would have needed an appropriate phone, true classics like the Motorola Razr, or any range of Nokia phones, including that of the classic Nokia 3310. But the ringtones included games like Snake, and the pizzazz of flipping open your phone is a fond memory for many. I was too young in the early 2000s to have owned a phone with a physical keyboard, so while I might have missed the craze, I haven't missed the opportunity. What was first out of intrigue, using a phone with a physical keyboard, became my preferred way to type on a phone. My phone has a nostalgic feel, though it still works on Australian networks and hasn't been IMEI blacklisted as part of the government's mandated national phone blacklist for models they deemed not supported on 4G networks. It is a 2018 BlackBerry Key 2 LE, the last ever BlackBerry smartphone. Despite its age, it does the basic tasks I require it to, and with there being no real direct replacement, I'll likely keep using it for as long as I can. Sure, the photos it takes are poor, and it's never received a single Android upgrade, but it's the last of the keyboard phones, the end of an era. I mean, it exceeded that era quite a bit, but you get what I mean. Once we move on, there isn't really a way back. It's the difference between feeling nostalgic and saying things like, "Remember when phones had keyboards?" to actually using a phone with a keyboard when nobody else is. I had the opportunity of using a 2015 BlackBerry Priv for about 6 months. This was before the 3G shutdown killed the possibility of ever using it again. Its design has never been repeated. A full-sized slider phone with curved OLED display and carbon fiber-like back. It's by far my favorite design phone of all time. There is so much notable tech that shaped what we have today. You might have a fond memory or feel nostalgic for something different, so let me know what's your favorite piece of tech from the last 25 or 30 years. Maybe it's something you wish you still had today, for its design, how you interacted with it, or maybe it was just easier to repair. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing and check out the playlist for vintage computers to get more of that nostalgic feeling. If you're looking for any used devices, be sure to check out my online store, and I will see you in the next video.